Hello everyone, my first name is my last name is Love, and this is Love Electronics, and you're watching the first ever episode of Tech Shit. So congratulations, I already love you. On today's episode, right, we're gonna talk about my background, right, and what my whole mission and goal and plan and all that was, right, to on building a VR gaming rig, right? And then we're gonna go over PCI Express 4 and why it's so fucking awesome and why I built my whole system around it, and about PCI Express 5 that's coming out and what's up with that, right? Then we're gonna go over AMD versus Intel, right? My opinion on it, my lifelong opinion, and my lifelong opinion on AMD versus NVIDIA, right? And then to finish it off, I'm going to tell you about my gaming rig, what I bought, right? And what I'm going to be upgrading to, and why you should probably want to do the same, right? All right, all right. And then after that, right, you should probably stick to the very end, because I have a little thing I call my that I call my recommendations and shit, right? I'm gonna make some recommendations and shit, right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the first subject. All right, so I already told you my name is Mai, right? And like, you totally shouldn't listen to me, because like I'm totally a dumbass, right? Like, I'm definitely a dumbass. But you might want to hear me out, right? Because like I'm what they call like an autistic person, right? Like I'm an autistic savant and shit, right? I have Asperger's, right? And like I was raised Jehovah's Witness, right? And I wasn't allowed to have friends. And I wasn't allowed to learn and shit. Oh, you want some too, bro? And I wasn't allowed to learn. I wasn't allowed to have friends. Like real, like true story and shit. Like I'm not even like trying to get sympathy or nothing. It's just like I had no way of like of like, you know, any kind of creative or any kind of intellectual outreach, right? But that wasn't completely true, because my mom in 1986, right, was a medical transcriptionist. Back then you would get cassette tapes of doctors, right? Right? And these cassette tapes, right, they would have like a conversation and shit of like the doctor talking to a patient, and my mom would have to like turn it into like a Word document, a Word Perfect document, actually. So we had a computer, right? And I was 4 years old, right? And apparently I learned how to read and write on a computer and shit. In 1986, on DOS commands and shit. Like, when kids used to say no dir and shit, I used to think they were talking about DOS commands, and I used to think they knew about computers and shit. Like, no lie, right? And I would sit there and, I would try to have like computer conversations with them and shit. Nobody had computers back in the late 80s and early 90s, but I did, right? So, holy shit, I forgot about this part. Fuck. So like I've been into computers since like the motherfucking beginning, dude. Like I learned to read on DOS, dog. And I learned to type before. Oh shit. I learned it. Damn, dog, try again. So I learned to read and type and all that shit on computers. Damn. And run. Alright. And so like when I got the VR headset, right, it was because Resident Evil 4 was on it, right? The Quest. And I thought it would be cool. Right? Whoa! Damn! I thought it'd be cool, you know? And I got it, and it was cool. It was really cool, right? But then I started doing YouTube with it. And that's badass. I found out that you can be really creative with it, right? And I like that shit. I like being creative, right? So I became like really into it. And I found out about Half-Life Alyx and shit, right? And I found out about the Resident Evil mods. Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 were modded at the time. And the cool part is, right, is like,
Me too.
I don't think you should upgrade to a gaming PC like for the same reason I did. I did because like I was being creative and I think it would be badass because of the graphics and shit, right? Graphics alone and shit, just because my YouTube channel would look really fucking badass, right? But then something happened, man. Playing Half-Life and playing Resident Evil changed something, like in my brain and shit. Like when the graphics get this good and something becomes AAA like this, you start feeling pain, like when they hurt their arm and shit, and you feel like in this. This is why you should upgrade to a gaming PC. This is why you have to have one that's a fucking beast too, because there's only Half-Life Alyx. But then Prey Dog, right? The badass motherfucker Prey Dog made Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 7, and Resident Evil 8 into PCVR with motion controls and like over-the-shoulder health and shit in Resident Evil 7 and stuff, right? And so you actually have five games, in my opinion, that are super AAA, fucking badass motherfucking games, right? What's up, Carlos? And so this makes it worth all the investment, right? The investment is not worth, I mean, you gotta spend, with my recommendations I'm gonna have later, you're gonna need to spend like $1,400 for a computer without a headset, right? That's without a headset, right? Just for the computer. But it's so worth it. Shit changes. I mean, you are this character. Like, it is awesome. It is like you are in a movie. It is so like you are in a movie. Like a AAA fucking movie. And best of all, it's Resident Evil. We love Resident Evil. Like, it is so worth it. This shit is working. It fucking works, bro. Look at this shit. Holy shit. Alright, let me tell you about PCI Express 4.0 and how badass it is and how it does all this. And what's up with, whoa, PCI Express 5.0. We gotta go, bro. Bye.
Do you hear that?
What is that?
Shit. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I remember. Alright,
Yeah,
so PCI Express,
that's the way we
right?
gotta go.
4.0, right? Why do I have such a hard on for it, right? Well, with everything I know about computers, right? The one thing, right, that I realized when I wanted to play not just this, which runs on like all kinds of hardware, like this runs on a lot of shit. Like you can play this on like a 1070 or some shit, a 1060 I think. I'm not sure. But with the Resident Evil mods and shit, right? Like they're different, right? You gotta really push it, right?
The Russells have a built-in display.
And the thing is
ammo,
right now with the PC
Thanks.
VR, right? Just with the ecosystem, there's just not enough, right? And there's just not gonna be for a while. So if you're gonna do this, right, you're gonna need a mod. You're gonna need a mod, right? And it requires a lot of bandwidth. And everything was PCI Express 3 for like the longest fucking time, right? Like the longest fucking time, right? But PCI Express 4, it doubles the bandwidth, right? Of like how much information can be going to the graphics card and from the graphics card and shit. And like to the CPU and all that shit. Like it's super duper important. Especially oh shit. Especially when you're doing stuff you're not supposed to be doing, and you're not supposed to be modding regular ass PC games into VR, right? Right? You're just not supposed to, right? And so that really helps, right? Like big time helps. Oh man, I'm gonna die before I'm done recording this. So you really want to do that, and then also because PCI Express 4 is so new, right?
Yeah, be careful.
Like it's so new that you pretty much guarantee that you're gonna have a good graphics card, because you have to have a 30 series of card, right? I'm gonna talk about why I choose NVIDIA later, but Hold on. Come on, bro. You want some? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Whoa. So yeah, the only processors, right, that work with the PCI Express 4 completely, like, because you gotta match everything, right? Oh shit. You gotta match. You gotta match the CPU, the graphics card, the motherboard, all that shit gotta be PCI Express 5 compatible, or it just tones it down to PCI Express 3, right? All your PCI Express 4 other shit, right? So they don't, like, it's really, like, not like common knowledge or nothing, but if you get like the, if you get the Ryzens, right, that are before the 5000 series, they're not. Right? And if you get a Ryzen that's a 5000, but it's a G, like a G at the end, right? Instead of the X, it's a G. It automatically turns you, doesn't let you have PCI Express 4, right? So, that's why I went this setup, right? It means you're gonna get an AMD Ryzen, right, a 5600X, or a 5800X, or a 5900X, right? And you're gonna have like a really decent graphics card, because you can do this shit with a 2070, right? And you can do this shit with like the modding stuff. You can do it with a 2070 and like a Ryzen 3000. Like, you can do it, right? But like it does it way better with PCI Express 5.0 shit and the 5000 series, right? So PCI Express 5.0 is coming out, right? With the new Ryzen series, which is crazy, because like they ran for like a decade, PCI Express 3.0, right? And then they just now released PCI Express 4 this generation, and now they're releasing 5, which doubles the bandwidth again. So that's 4 times the bandwidth of PCI Express 3, right? 4 times the bandwidth that the graphics card and the processor and all that shit talks to, right? But not only that, but that's now how hard drives, that's how those new M.2 drives, that's how they talk. They're using graphics card lanes. That's why these new hard drives, like the one that's in this computer and shit, are so fucking badass, right? Is because they're fucking running graphics card fucking lanes and shit, right? Well, they get faster too with this new PCI Express 5, right? So they're gonna be really super fast. And like, if you heard about the PlayStation 5 and you heard about the new Xbox series and shit, like one of the things is like no load screens and shit like that. Well, there's actually a lot more to that. Like, you can actually have like totally crazy open worlds and shit with it, but that's using a fucking M.2 drive, using PCI Express, but also using this thing that they're gonna call like direct storage or something like that in PCs soon, but they're gonna have that soon too. So because of all that, right, I'm upgrading next fucking this year, like, you know, either at the end of the year or beginning of next year, to the new Ryzen 4000 series. I mean, not the Ryzen 7000 series of CPUs, right? And I'm definitely gonna get the NVIDIA graphics card, the 4000 series. I'm gonna try to go with the 80 if I can afford it, right? But like, everything's faster. Oh, and they're upgrading the RAM. RAM's gonna be DDR5, and it's also, you know, double the fucking bandwidth. So the RAM's gonna have more bandwidth, the CPU's gonna have more bandwidth talking to the RAM, the fucking CPU's gonna have more bandwidth talking to the fucking graphics card. The graphics cards are gonna start talking directly to the fucking hard drives, and the hard drives are gonna be on the graphics card lanes, and they're also gonna be PCI Express. So you see what I'm saying? So you're gonna want to get at least the system I have now, or you're gonna want to get the PCI Express 5 system that I'm gonna get, or something very similar to it. But I'm gonna tell you about that kind of stuff later, right? Like for right now and shit, let's go over and let me tell you about AMD versus Intel and about AMD versus NVIDIA, right? Come on, bro.
Nice shooting, Alex.
Thanks. Appreciate that shit.
Talk about what a lesser gun this is.
So before I start talking about AMD and Intel or AMD and Nvidia, like first of all, just so you know, like my main goal in life, right? Oh shit, right? Like my main goal in life, right, is is for it just to work, right? For it to just motherfucking work. Whoa! Holy shit! Like, I just want my game to run, and I just want it to record, especially because I record and shit, right? Shit, motherfuckers! Right? I just want it to work. So I don't care what fucking company it is. I don't care. Like, I really don't care. In the long run, whether or not it's AMD or Intel that gets my money, I just care if it fucking works, right? So, like, I had a 3070 originally in this system, right? And someone took it. Someone just took it. And so, like, I originally had a 3070 and 5800X, and that shit was like, that shit just fucking worked, dude. It was badass, dude. I fucking love that shit, dude. It just worked, right? And then, my brother-in-law got, whoa, one of those, oh shit. Got one of those, 6900, XTs. God damn it, everyone's just tagging me, right? Got one of those 6900 XTs, right? And, come to find out, right? Like, I was having issues and shit with it, right? God damn it, motherfucker. Fucking shit, these two motherfuckers just won't leave me alone. And, like, it was legit, right? Like, I legit had issues, right? God damn it, I think I'm dead. Oh, nope. And, oh shit, I'm gone. So, like, I was having legit issues with it, right? And I found out that, especially the 6900, the high-end one, like, there was driver issues, right? And you had to like roll back, like this is February, right? And I had to roll back to like November of 2021 drivers, like when I read it in the Reddit forums and shit on what to do. And then I found out it's also because like AMD is really slack with their drivers and shit, right? And I never had any problems with the Intel shit. Like, just never. I never had any problems with the Intel. I mean, the fucking Nvidia shit, right? And then like also like DLSS, like a lot of these post processing effects and shit just don't motherfucking work on VR. Like they just don't. Like they just break VR. They don't work, right? And one of those is that fucking RTX. RTX breaks it. Like I don't buy Nvidia for RTX, but the DLSS, dude, and AMD's FSR, like that's what's up. That's what's up too. But the thing is if games like support the DLSS, you gotta have an Nvidia card, right? And like it works, and it makes fucking games super playable. Because the thing is I'm running a 90 hertz VR screen, right? So I gotta generate the world in 90 hertz, and if it fucking goes less than that, it stutters. And it's not like flat screen games, dude. Like in VR and shit, if it stutters, like you notice that shit, and it makes you sick and all that shit, and it's just not cinematic, and it's just not fucking it. Like it's not what I want, right? Like what I want is for it to work. So to work, it has to be running. It has to be continuously running, right? At 90 frames a second. In two screens. And like it takes extra power for it to do it. It's in a way like saying that it's got to run it twice, right? That's how VR works. Is it's generating it in two screens, right? It's not exactly twice, but I mean, for case in point purposes of like trying to explain this to you, like it is, right? Like it just is, right? So just think about that. You got to run the game twice, and you got to run it at 90 hertz or more, and you got to have it locked like that, right? So you need all that power. So AMD is just better. Like right now, AMD, the Ryzens are just fucking better. Like they're just better. Those E cores and shit that they're talking about too, um, with Intel, like calling those efficiency cores, they don't help in gaming. Just so you know, they don't help at all, right? And all this shit that AMD's doing with the memory and all that shit and the cache, like just long story short, AMD is just better for processors, right? Right? And with graphics cards, the NVIDIA it's just better, right? It just works. You don't have any fucking problems. Like I don't have any fucking problems when I'm recording or when I'm doing all that. As long as I have all my settings right and everything like that, it works. Which I can't say the same for fucking can't say the same for the fucking for the AMD graphics cards. They're just not as solid. And you really need something solid, right? You just really do. You really, really fucking do. All right. So let me tell you about the two different about the setup I have now, right? And the setup I'm going to be upgrading to, right? All right. Oh shit. Yeah. So like the TLDR, right? The TLDR of fucking of 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 what rig you should get, right? Is definitely for all the reasons I said before, right? Is get um a Ryzen 5000 series processor, right? And get an NVIDIA 3000 series graphics card, right? If you get a 3060, get a 5600X. If you get a 3080, get a 5800X. And if you get a 3090, get a 5900X. Like it's not always like that, but it's really convenient that this generation and next generation that's the pair. You got to pair your graphics card with your processor, right? 16 gigs of RAM is fine on this setup. This is the one I'm running. It's fine, right? It's totally fine. If you're getting like an 80 like series one, or a 90 series one, maybe 32 gigs of RAM, but 16 gigs is fine, right? Totally get that now. Totally get that later, right? When it becomes cheaper. This will run modded PCVR. This will run regular PCVR. This will run that shit. It'll run it. It'll run it fine. It'll be fine. Everything's fine. It just fucking works. It's awesome. It works, right? I'm upgrading to most likely the 7800X. Oh, and remember, you need to get an X when you get the processor. If you get those processors with the G, it disables PCI Express, right? And you need to get 2 sticks of RAM. When you're getting 16 gigs of RAM, get 2 8. When you're getting 32 gigs of RAM, right, get 2 16s, right? Because if not, it cuts the bandwidth. Remember, it's all about the bandwidth. It cuts the bandwidth down on the memory, and it fucking cripples everything, right? Well, what I'm going to get is probably going to get a 7800X, right? And I'm going to get the 4080, right? Dude, the next gen graphics, not only is the bandwidth doubling, but like performance is going to double. Like it's going to be insane, right? But if you got a 4060, which would be fucking great, it'd be fine, trust me, that'll run everything. With a 4060, right, and get a a 7600X, you'll be great. With 32 gigs of RAM, you'll be great. That's like the best setup right there for the money. Right there for the money. That's what I recommend to buy. Is a starting this this winter, right? You're gonna be able to get these, right? Get a 7600X, which is most likely what they're gonna call it, right? And get a 4060. That's fucking sweet, right? If you need a budget system or you need something now, right? Or even when this other stuff comes out, I guarantee you, right? If you get the 5600X, right? With the X, right? And you get a 3060, right? And you get 16 gigs of RAM, and you have make sure they're dual channel, right? Get the fastest you can. The DDR4 3200 is what I think is what I'm running. 3200, 4200, something like that, right? You'll be fine, right? And if you want to get something that's super future proof, that's super fucking powerful, and you want to wait because you can run VR right now for a while, right? If you can run VR, wait, get the 4060 and get the 7600X and get 32 gigs of RAM. You'll be able to mod everything. You'll be able to run everything. You'll be forever. And if you get a 3060 and a 5600X with 16 gigs of dual channel memory now or later, you won't be sorry. It'll be fine. I will stand by that. There might be better, but it will work. It'll work. It'll work. And you can record if you want to record. And you can record if you want to record. So that's my little spiel. All right? That's my little spiel. All right. So here, I'll see you on the other side, right? All right. All right. Alright, so I hope y'all like that, right? It's a work in progress, right? You know, we're trying to figure it the fuck out, right? But my recommendations, right? So if you've never heard of The Boys, or if you heard of it and you've never seen The Boys, like, you're fucking welcome and shit, right? Because season 3 just started, and you should so watch The Boys. I dare you, right? To watch the first episode of The Boys if you've never seen any of it, and watch like the first 15 minutes, and I dare you not to watch the rest of it. It's like that good and shit, right? Right? Yo, and if you haven't seen the new Resident Evil movie, the one, what is it called? Return to Raccoon City? Yo, go see that shit. That shit is fucking badass, bro. Like, it's just like the video game. It's really good. Like, go see that shit, right? So, like, I don't have a Patreon or nothing. Oh, Grandma almost shot you, Grandma. Grandma, so, like, we gotta tell them about this shit, right? Oh, you wanna see a magic trick, Grandma? Bam. You like that shit? Yeah. Right? So, me and Grandma, right? We don't got a Patreon or nothing, right? We just want the same thing that Google algorithm wants, right? We want likes, subs, comments, all that good shit, right? Right? And if you like this show and you got some ideas on what you want to like hear me talk about, feel free to put them in the comments, right? And I don't want to make any money off of you, but I'll definitely want to make money doing this, right? So if you want to help me out instead of like giving me money on Patreon or whatever, right? If you click on all of the little buttons down there, the likes and subs and comments and shit, that makes the algorithm find new audience, right? Which is you, right? And if you like this kind of stuff, I am only gonna, right? We're only doing this on Saturdays, right? Saturdays when, Grandma? 8 a.m. Grandma says at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays. I know that's like forever, right? It's forever, right? So in the meantime, right here, I got you Resident Evil 3, right? Totally fall in love with both Jill and Carlos on this. It's fucking awesome. You'll really like this story, right? And right now, I'm doing Resident Evil 7, and it's helping me with the loss of my wife. So you should definitely check that out, right? And then this one down here, if you want to mod PCVR, you're going to want to watch this episode right here, right? And if you click on the heart, right? Click on the heart, Grandma. What happens? It subscribes to the channel. She's right. It subscribes to the channel, all right? With that, I'm going to wish y'all good night. Good night. Thanks, Grandma.